welcome to Voices of Endpoint. It's wonderful to have you here. Shreya, why don't you describe your journey on how you got to Endpoint?
Sri, great to be here. If I just look back on my journey of what 30 plus years in industry, my journey has been shaped by a number of great leaders who always put the customer at the center and focusing on solving problems. Almost everyone I worked with, as I reflect, they've been successful because they had some folks that were smarter than them that they had hired and groomed them and made some great leaders in the industry. And I think the last thing I would say is it's my learning that I or anyone may not have all the answers. It's about being able to collaborate and bring the best of yourself and the organization you represent to help your customers succeed. I would say those are some three dimensions of how I've been shaped as to who I am right now, if I think about it.
Yeah. So Sriram, are you originally from the life sciences industry? What got you into life sciences, and what do you like about being in the life sciences play?
Yeah, so no, absolutely. I'm not from life sciences. I started my career in the telecom industry back in India between 92 and 2000. That was the time India had opened the market for international players and had the opportunity to work with some of the greatest technologies back then, from the likes of Lucent to Iridium, to name a few. And then it was about 25 years ago exactly is when I came to the US and had the opportunity to be part of the core team building the life sciences business at Cognizant. If you recall, right, you had hired me back then. I think what got me interested was the purpose that the industry has is to be able to solve and help the patients get the treatments. When I started it, I didn't quite really appreciate what it is, but now been in the industry for about 23 years, I can clearly see the value that this industry brings in. One. Two, personally, I've seen some really close people in my life, including my father-in-law and many others, including someone very dear to me, lost their life to cancer just 3 days ago. And it just grounds you that what you are doing in this industry is really meaningful, and you feel like you're doing something to further the cause along. And even though at Cognizant and outside, I had the opportunity to serve in other industries, but based on what I've seen and learned and what this industry does, I've just chosen to stay for the last 22 years or more, and I don't expect to go anywhere else.
Wonderful. So Sriram, as you see the journey in this marketplace, tell me a little bit about being in an IRT company. How does that feel like, and what is different from your past experiences and services?
IRT, I think, is unique. I know it is a new term called RTSM, which probably clearly articulates what the system does, which is about randomization and trial supplies. I think what's unique is the focus that this space brings in and the role that we play as an organization, because I know we all are using this term, which is, I think, as I say it more and more, I feel more convinced that this is the air traffic controller. This is probably the only one of the very, very few systems that has the purest data on patients, the sites that they visit, the drugs that they consume as part of the exercise. So this is almost like a fundamental system that a biopharma needs to make the investment in, and we are playing such an important role to translate the protocol into something that they can act upon and use the data to support the rest of the processes. So in some sense, I would say we are very uniquely positioned to improve the trial and be able to do it faster and with higher quality, which is the ask of almost every biopharma that we talk to today. So I think we are in probably the best place I can think of, especially with newer investments and platforms. Everybody's talking about cloud and multi-tenant, and can you reduce the time? We are right there to truly help and reshape the industry.
Fantastic. So, Shriram, you must have gone around talking to several customers. So, as you talk to your customers, what is top of mind for them in their IRT or RTSM decision making?
I think number one, quality, because they know that the system may be great, but when a patient is there who is driving 60, 90 miles to get to the trial site, and if the investigational product is not available for them, then it has just defeated the whole purpose. So they want to make sure the system that is built, designed and built can truly improve the quality. And therefore, when a patient comes in, they have what they need so that we're truly helping someone improve their lives. I think that's one that's coming in. The second that's most important is speed. I was at ASCO in June. It is fascinating to see every year newer and newer companies are coming in to focus on cancer, and everyone is looking at how do I get their product faster to the marketplace, get the approvals. And hence, we absolutely cannot be the bottleneck. So they are looking at how can you accelerate the timelines that will allow them to get the setup done, start the study, and be able to make progress. I think the third most important one is in almost every conversation, everyone is figuring out how do I bring AI to life? Is AI something that is ingrained in the system, in the way you train your people? How can that help drive greater productivity for me and allow them to innovate? So they are almost looking at every partner to have AI in the conversation, in the product, in the way we provide service. So they feel like this is the kind of partner I want to engage with rather than just a technology player.
So, Sriram, that's an interesting pivot on AI. So tell me a little bit on in your conversation with customers on AI, is there reticent an adoption of AI? Is there welcoming thoughts in adopting AI? Where do you see our customers in that journey?
Great question. I would say everyone is experimenting, but there are a few that are, making very focused investments and building organizations because they believe AI is here to stay. That's number one. The second, clinical is an area for the longest period of time where everyone recognizes there is greater opportunity for transformation and driving efficiencies. So they are almost looking at the entire e-clinical stack. Some of them are looking at the RTSM, e-commerce spaces in particular, and saying, what can you do differently? A topic that we heard during the IRT event, and I know you talked about it with customers in Europe, is about protocol digitization. I think it's probably one that almost every company is trying to find a way to solve for it. And I think that's probably the starting point for them on the same protocol being used, different components being used by different systems. They are saying, let us start to attack this first before they go elsewhere. And I think given where we are, I think we are in a much better place to demonstrate the value that we can bring to them. And it's if you don't do it now, I'm sure there are hundreds of companies trying to solve the same problem. Given we have the license to work with 60, 70, 80 customers, we have a first mover advantage with them that we just need to capitalize on what's in front of us.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Sriram. So as you go about talking to customers, you're seeing AI in the conversation, but it all goes back to, as you said, quality and delivering. Tell me what is customers' feedback on our new product, Velocity? What are you hearing from the market? What are your thoughts on that?
As you talk to customers in the events and other conversations, first thing they're trying to understand, is it going to be yet another system in the industry? They are asking for the following. Is it cloud multi-tenant? It's becoming a basic requirement these days. Second, as a sponsor, can I have a much better full view of all the studies? Third, everyone is really caring about how good is this going to be in terms of site user experience. I think that's a big element of discussion. The fourth is the ability to integrate with other systems so that they can pull all this data into their clinical data warehouse or other systems that they have to drive some greater analytics. How easy can the partner be? How flexible can we be in providing the data that allows them to look at the entire trial holistically? Because what we've heard is it's been a challenge working with some, even though it is their own data, you need to pay them to get their own data. So they are saying what kind of technology advancements you have done, or how easy it is to work with you to get the data that we need for us to make the decisions. So those are, I think, the element of technology, the people, but even the culture of the organization, I think, becomes extremely important. You can't put a dollar figure to it, but those who have had a greater experience are able to say, this is what you like to see in a partner.
Sriram, you touched upon an important part, culture. What part of this organizational culture resonates with you? You work with several organizations. Which parts do you believe as a part of our employee values, which resonates with what you do on a day-to-day basis?
I think of the core values that we have in our company, which is passion, innovation, collaboration, quality, empathy, given where the market is and the changes we are bringing as an organization. One that comes across that I see and I feel every day is collaboration. I think that's number one. Second, significant focus on quality, because everyone recognizes that, like I said earlier, one missed visit for a patient can have such a big impact for the company and the patient and whatnot. So everyone is so focused on the quality. I think the third, I wouldn't say in any particular order, I would say passion. I feel almost everyone here, has spent so much time in this industry that they feel like they want to do something different that positions us uniquely, right? If you look at the product team led by Jeff and others, you could see the passion, even though they've been there for 13 years or more. The approach that they are bringing to Velocity is not like the good old ways of working. So I can see the passion of embracing new things, trying out new things, but it's almost like you talk to those people, you get some energy out of them to say, okay, what can I do differently and how can I help the customer? So I would say those three it stands out as I engage with people on a daily basis.
Yeah. And Shreya, your chief commercial officer, always having a view on what the competition is. So how are you seeing the competition? Are we winning against them? What is our differentiator? How are we really making a difference in the marketplace?
If you look at the competition, I think it comes in a few flavors. We have a few like the Viva and Medidata that are trying to go down the path of the end-to-end e-clinical suite approach. You have the likes of Suvoda, 4Gs of the world that are probably in the very similar space like us, very focused on RTSM, maybe a couple of newer ones that they have added. And you have some up and coming, ones like Atrio, Corios of the world. With that said, I think customer, as we talk to them, I think they are looking for the following. One is, can it support the kind of studies and the therapeutic area that I'm operating in? If my focus is on oncology, they want to make sure, have you done oncology trials, complex studies, and can your system support? So definitely that's an important element that they look for. And as I look at where we are one and what has differentiated us. Second is, what's the kind of people that we bring in to be able to support from a PM to BSA to the development team that is able to come along with what we are selling and delivering to the customer. The third, I think most important one that's kind of ignored sometimes, but I think it's very special for us is the entire support services. As you talk to others, a lot of them have just outsourced this to many other vendors, but it's our own team that we are doing it. And customers are seeing that high touch service that we bring in is making a big difference. And I would say those are some dimensions where we are able to score a lot more in terms of winning it. Absolutely, we are not the cheapest, nor do we want to be. But I think the customers are starting to see the value in terms of the leadership, the investments, the technology, and the culture we bring in. When you have an issue, you just jump in to solve and then figure out whether it's cost another $50 or more. I think that customer-centric approach is probably allowing us to differentiate, and we can see others are not able to catch up with what the customers, and frankly, whichever industry you go, I mean, customer you talk to, they are looking for the same thing. Hey, do I have the executive attention if I have a problem? Are you bringing the best of the teams to support? Do you have the right kind of technology? Is that the support? Is that something that can extend beyond the implementation? May sound very basic, but I think it's the difference is what's that culture that you bring in that allows all of these dimensions to come together.
Sriram, you really articulated that well. Like we're Avis, we try harder, make sure that we're coming in and helping our customers, giving that concierge service, but really providing that empathy on what is being done in the market. Sriram, pivoting from what the organization is doing to yourself personally, what does Sriram do outside of work? What's fun? And
I think a few things have changed over the years. I used to play a lot of golf, not anymore. But a few things that I do, I learned the Indian classical vocal music. I have classes every Saturday with my teacher, so that's allowing me to, appreciate the music that is such a big ocean. Second is, I think after COVID, I've started to spend, a little bit more time with my daughter. So I do pickups and drops on the Saturdays for all her music lessons and violin and so on and so forth. The second. The third is, I try to meditate a little bit more than the normal based on some experience I had about 5 years ago. So those are probably three things that we try to do. Of late, Formula One has been a big topic with my daughter spending a lot more time. So we are figuring out which is the next race we go to. And that's a topic that we have on every Friday calls with the Fiona and Sean and everybody rooting for different teams. My own knowledge of F1 has gotten better in the last 6 months since I've joined the Endpoint.
That's wonderful. It seems like you're enjoying yourself quite a bit. In terms of what you would like to see in the future, what are your thoughts? Where do you take your organization forward? Where do we take Endpoint forward? I would love to get your perspective.
Sure. Look, I think one is, I think it was one of my bosses taught me 23 years ago, in the world of technology and services, only two things matter. One is customer and one is the people. So I know we're doing a lot of work on both the dimensions. If I were you, I would say continue these two things. One is stay close to customers, stay close to the people. I think that's very, very important. Even after 23 years, I find it even more relevant. That's one. I think I would say, I mean, that's number one. Number two is, continue to hire really good talent and surround you with people that can challenge you and that are, again, as I talk to people, a few things that I look for is you have the attitude and willingness to learn. And I think if they bring that dimension, everything else can be taught. And that's so, like I said, my 8 years was in telecom. I did not know life sciences, but there are some great people around me that taught me life sciences. So I think that is definitely doable, so long as the person brings the ingredient of willingness to, adapt and learn. I think we can do a lot of great things. So those are a few things that I can think of.
Fantastic. And Sriram, as we're taking the organization forward, as a leadership? What are you finding exciting for 2026, and looking forward to working with the customers and the employees? What's on deck for us?
So one, I think there is still a large opportunity out there for us that we need to capitalize on. Number one. Number two, given all the changes that we have made as an organization, I think the industry is truly recognizing the kind of customer service, the kind of leadership, the kind of investments we are making. So the key is, continue to maintain that and stay close to the customers. I think that's going to clearly open up greater opportunities for growth, personally and professionally, and for the teams as well. The third is, I think the studies are getting complex. AI is right here. So long as we as an organization can stay close to being relevant to the customers, continue to make the investments and be knowledgeable about how to bring AI, I think we'll have a much greater 2026 and beyond. And I'm very confident about the path we are taking as an organization and what the future prospects are.
Thank you, Sriram. This was fantastic. Really appreciate you sharing your thoughts, and thank you for spending time with us on Voices of Endpoint.
Well, thank you for having me,